Points.
Hey there, and Happy New Year to you one and all, my fellow friends, fans, and ladybugs. It is great to be back with you for yet another year of the Broad Points podcast. I am your host, the broad that points, the broad with the points. It's me, Tyler, the lady. And sure, we're getting a couple weeks in to 2025. 2025. I honestly cannot believe how fast time has been flying. Alas, here we are. My boyfriend, Matt, he does a podcast with some of his friends. I actually was listening to that before I met Matt. And that's not how I met him, but I was listening to that before we met, before we started dating. I was a listener of his podcast. And something that they do on the podcast, that is what it's called, is every year they try to, get a tagline together, a slogan, if you will, for the year. Something to keep them going, something to motivate them. There was this one year where they had Year of the Hustle. That was by far the best one that they've had so far. But every year since they did Year of the Hustle, I too try to find myself a phrase for the year. And this year, for 2025, I also love a rhyme too. So for 2025, I say 2025, look alive. 2025, look alive, right? Because when you're looking alive and people always say, look alive, when they throw something at you or something's flying towards you, that's just, I imagine being athletic. I imagine being able to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Right? Because when things are coming at us and life comes at us fast, like I said, you guys, 2025, I have no idea how we got here, but it is. This is where we are, and life comes at you fast. And so you really do have to look alive. It's so easy to just be a vegetable, be a couch potato, and just not do anything and not make any choices and not progress anywhere in life. But guess what? Life is going to happen around you, whether you like it or not. And so, anticipating that life is going to, be coming our way, we get to look alive. We get to move around. We get to look like we're ready. That's always something, right? Look alive, look ready, look prepared, feel prepared, feel ready, like whatever stance you need to be in, get in your Mortal Kombat stance right now because the game is starting. The year has begun. And, it's funny that I did this episode after January 11th. I'm not myself really a big resolution person. Every year I'm not like, oh, I need to do all these resolutions and this is the way I'm going to change. I honestly am just kind of doing that throughout life. Throughout the year, every year I'm assessing, what's working for me and what's not, and trying to move forward. And January 11th is actually the day where not everybody, I'm going to take that back right now. Not everybody, but a lot of people who set resolutions have quit their resolutions. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're listening to this right now. You started January 1st and you're like, I'm going to do some things this year. And you got that gym membership, right? Everybody always with the gym membership. And oh, I'm going to read. And you bought all those books and they're sitting on your nightstand now. How many pages have you turned? Maybe not any, right? Maybe you've not gone to the gym. Maybe January 11th was the day that you quit. You're feeling a little triggered. Guess what? It's okay. I'm here to tell you that you're allowed to forgive yourself. You're allowed to have things not work out. It's okay to have things not work out. I know everybody, gets so uptight about stuff when it's like, it didn't work out. What a failure. But what have we learned? Right? What have we learned in that time? It is so important to recognize that, the things that we deem failures, the things that we deem mistakes, that's not actually their full title, you guys. It's really not. There's more to them. There's more to the books than their covers. Read some of those pages and you'll find out about it. And so, let's go ahead and let's jump in to the fundamental phrase for the week. Maybe you're a new listener. Maybe you don't know what the heck is a fundamental phrase for the week. What does this mean? Well, we're putting the fun back in life and giving ourselves a little phrase, a little mantra to get us through, to try on like a shoe, as we do. And just see how it fits for you. See, maybe you're feeling like a sense of fear or anxiety bubbling up in your stomach. Then you can use this fundamental phrase to apply. It's just try it on. See how it feels. Maybe you're, going to make a decision and you're really toeing the line. You're like, I really don't know which way I'm going to turn here. Apply a fundamental phrase, right? A mantra is something that you can say to yourself to remind you how you want to live your life. It's sort of like that lighthouse, that guiding light through the fog of like, hey, we want to stay on this track. This is the track that we're going down, or this is the perspective that we want to view the world from. And so this week's fundamental phrase is, I can do anything I set my mind to. I can do anything I set my mind to. Anything. Anything that you set your mind to, you can do it. And I am so, so blessed that my parents, I always remember, even my father to this day, I'll talk to him on the phone and he'll just tell me about how I can do anything I set my mind to and I can, be anything I want to be. But it was always, you can do anything you set your mind to because you can. Anything you want to do, anything that you are willing to dedicate, mental storage, mental capacity towards, you are able to do it. I have a friend actually, this last week. There's been so much time. I'm so happy to catch up with you. Last week I had some girlfriends come over. I hadn't seen them in a while. Honestly, I don't know, you guys. I go through ups and downs where, honestly, I finished a really cool painting. But, of like needing people, wanting people, and then also isolating. And so at the end of this isolation period, I was able to see two of my girlfriends. I had them over for a little tea party. I love to host a tea party. And she was telling me about how now she's learning guitar. Before, she's played multiple instruments in her life. She's a very talented woman, and I love her so, 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 so much. But one of the times before this, she was talking about how her fingers were just the frets on the guitar, they were like too hard to press down and her little fingers, and it just wasn't happening. But she could play the uke. And so she's like playing the ukulele and just loves that. Then I see her this time and she tells me that, girl, her new boyfriend is teaching her how to play guitar and she can play a couple of songs now, right? She didn't think, right? She didn't have her mindset that she could do it before. And then she set her mind to it. Now this girl can play songs. I mean, I know I haven't seen her in a while, but it hasn't been that long. And now she's out here playing songs on her guitar. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. I want to dedicate, mental capacity towards learning instruments. Other than my vocal cords, of course, because those are the instrument I use on the daily. But to have an instrument, to be able to play, and create music outside of my vocal abilities, I think that is just, it's always been something that has interested me, intrigued me, if you will. And Not a good point for my mom, but what one thing she told me that swayed me from learning instruments at a young age, I wanted to join band. I think maybe in like the 5th or 6th grade, I wanted to join band, and my mom told me no, and because nerds do it. And so ever since then, and I know she's taken it back. Like, I think she even maybe played the clarinet. But ever since then, I've like had a really hard time learning instruments. Well, people say it's easier to learn when you're younger, but now that I'm older, I'm like trying to pick up instruments, not having any music theory knowledge or being able to read sheet music, and I dabble in it. I start to get into it, and then I get a little bit sidetracked. I do too many things sometimes, and it takes me longer to complete the things that I want to do, which I am recognizing is a pattern, which is why I'm able to tell you guys here. Maybe you're also seeing this pattern within yourself. It's okay. We're human. But the thing is that if you want to complete your projects faster, you have to shorten that gestation period. You have to shorten how long it takes you, in between your breaks, to get back on the horse, right? To pick back up the paintbrush. Last year, I painted a painting, and I picked up the paintbrush, I think it was January 1st, maybe January 1st and 2nd. We'll give myself credit. We'll say I did 2 days in a row. And I was like, I'm going to paint every day this year. I did not touch the paintbrush for another 10 months. Another 10 months went by. That was the gestation period that it took me in order to be able to decide that I wanted to go back to that painting. And by the time I finished that painting, it's hanging on my wall right now. I love it so much. I'm positive that I've shared it somewhere. You could follow me on my social media channels and see where they're at. But, I love it so much. And so it's not a resolution, but something that I promised myself that I was going to do moving forward was that I was not going to allow myself to wait 10 months to finish a project. Like literally just no work, because once I picked back up the paintbrush, I think I maybe, we'll call it like 4 days or something that I was finished in. So a week, I could have had this painting done in this beautiful 36 by 36 inch painting could have been done 7 days. Had I just done it every day, had I just shown up, right? Had I chosen to show up. And Matt and I went to the Palm Springs Art Museum. It's free, you guys, on Thursdays. If you do not know this, the Palm Springs Art Museum is free on Thursdays from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., I believe. Or maybe it's even 9 p.m. But 5 p.m. for sure is the start time. You can go to the Palm Springs Art Museum for free, walk around, take a look. It is multiple levels. It is a beautiful space. They had a woman there that was, I believe she was playing the cello. I didn't get to actually look at her. I was watching the art and hearing her. I was looking at the art and listening to her. But she had the most beautiful voice, and she was doing all these covers that it was so fun to walk around, and just the hustle and bustle of, the Thursday nights is also Village Fest in Palm Springs. What is Village Fest, you ask? Well, Palm Springs, the main street in Palm Springs, they shut that whole street down, and they line it with street vendors every single Thursday throughout the year. And so there's the hustle and bustle of everybody in the desert, coming out to Village Fest. Just walk right on over to the art museum. It's like a block or two, maybe two, off of the strip there, but it is just stunning. There are so many good artists in there. There was a photographer, I believe on the top floor, that he had a little sign, and he was talking about how to be an artist or how to be a photographer. And he's like, you just have to do it. Like literally anyone can do it. You just have to do it. And something that came up for me in that moment was this idea of choosing to be inspired over choosing to feel defeated, right? Inspiration versus defeat. I don't know about you, but when I feel defeated, I'm not immediately like, oh, I want to take action on this. I just kind of want to, maybe I want to lick my wounds for a moment. What does that look like, right? Retracting. I have a moment of retraction. And so I know this about myself. I know when I feel defeated, I have like a need to step back. However, when I feel inspired by something, I take action almost immediately. Like, as soon as I can get, if it was back in the day for sports, or we'll say for fast pitch, I loved fast pitch. It was, how soon can I get into a batting cage? Like, oh shit, I learned something. Let's be inspired by it. Let's go to the batting cage and learn how to implement that. Matt is so good about like golf. Golf is so finicky. You guys, there's so many variables when it comes to golf. And Matt is so good about being like, oh, I was noticing this. I'm going to take it to the range and do this to correct it. Like, never defeat. Never like, oh, I blew that golf round. I'm not going to golf for another year. No, inspiration. Again, remember, it's a choice. Everything in life that we go through, it is a choice. And in these moments of win-loss, right, we can choose to feel defeated, or we can choose to feel inspired. Inspired to try harder, inspired to implement new techniques, practice more. And just, there's so many different ways that, we can show up when we focus on what we want, right? When we're feeling defeated, we're focusing on the defeat. And I don't know about you personally, but I know me, and I don't personally want more defeat. I don't want more defeat in my life. I'm not trying to manifest more defeat. And so I don't want to sit and wallow. And don't get me wrong, because I've had my emo phases where I would sit and I would wallow and, it would be a whole thing. And now I just know. I know that if I'm feeling a type of way that, it's not worth it. We only have one life. We only have so much time on this planet. We only have so much time with this body, right? Even like the body that we have today is not the body that we have tomorrow or a month from now or a year from now. Our bodies are always changing. Our minds are always changing. And so we really have to stay focused on what we want if we want those things. If we're choosing to be inspired, if we're choosing to visualize ourselves winning, I'm going to say winning here for just a general term of accomplishing your goal, right? We're all just going to be so much happier. Choose to be inspired, choose to take action, and choose to focus on what you want, right? And maybe you're like, what the heck do I want? What the heck do I want? Sit with it, you guys. Like, boredom, something of the past year's boredom, it is actually so beneficial for your clarity. It is a blank canvas. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. So last year for Christmas, it sounds like it's so long ago. For Christmas this last year, I'm in the desert. I am for sure not getting a white Christmas. Everybody's talking about, oh, it's going to snow, a blizzard's coming through, blah, blah, white Christmas. All the movies are like, oh, it's a white Christmas. Everybody's like talking about, I've never really had a white Christmas. When I lived in Washington, we had it like once in a blue moon. It was just so rare for the weather to cooperate up there. Here, I know what I'm getting every single day. I know that the desert, it's not going to snow. It might snow up in the mountains, and so I might get a white Christmas up there. But I chose to take it into my own hands, or rather, onto my own hands. And by that, I mean, I did my own gel manicure and I painted them white. I had white nails for Christmas, so I myself had a white Christmas here in the desert. Everything is just all about perspective. Everything is just all about how you can make yourself happy, right? And so I was walking around for Christmas, like, white Christmas, I'm having a white Christmas. And it just really got me into the spirit. And then for New Year's, I was like, I actually think I'm going to leave them white so that I can have a blank canvas for 2025, because this year is our year, you guys. And that's something that they're saying on the podcast as well. Feel free to check it out, cross-reference me if you'd like, but this is our year. I'm telling you now, this is our year to recognize that we get to make our own decisions, to embody our bodies, to embrace our minds, our beauty, our flaws, all of it. It truly is our year. So look alive, look ready, look prepared, and invest time where you want to, really imagining that you already have something. It just pulls that into your circle. The more that you wander your mind, you'll be amazed at what you find in there. There are so many things, and it's all different for everybody. Whatever's happening I'm talking about painting, that could not be it for you. It could be working on cars. You'd be like, working on cars is the thing for me. And that's so cool, dude. I'm so happy for you. If you want to work on 20 cars this year. Last year you only worked on 15, or last year you worked on 1. This year you want to work on 2, right? I hope it goes so well for you. I'm so pumped. Everybody has their own goals, and you can do anything you set your mind to, because I can too. All we have to do is focus. And for that, I have a focus practice for you guys. From time to time on this podcast, I will share with you a practice, another thing to just add on to your life. A phrase, you just have a phrase for the fundamental phrase, a practice. It's, maybe a tool for your tool belt that you can just try it on. See if it works out for you. Try and, strengthen some of your mental muscles. Some of your higher faculties is actually what they're referred to. Try and strengthen those. Your mind is a muscle, and this is a practice that you can do. And I call it stay lit. I call it stay lit because it is literally light a candle and stare at it. And just stare at it. And all you have to do is just stare at that candle. Okay, one, it feels so good for your eyes because our eyes are actually constantly flickering. And so with our eyes constantly flickering and the flames constantly flickering, it just allows you to feel this meditative, just trance. And so really just allowing yourself to go into that. Another great flame to stare at is a fireplace or a fire pit. Ooh, advocacy for camping, right? Advocacy for getting outdoors. But not right now in Los Angeles, okay, you guys? Don't do it. It's crazy over there. I hope that everybody is safe, that is listening to this. If you need anything, if there's somewhere that we can help you out at, please share your information with me, and we will do that because it is just wild times all over the place. And so, staring at a flame, though, just staring at it and just getting lost in it, that helps with your focus. So the next time you're at a fireplace, just lost in it, and somebody's like, dude, you're not even there, and just be like, I'm focusing. With that, you guys, let's go ahead and share all of the ways that you can reach out to me, because you can contact me. I am at Broad Points on social media for this podcast, at Broad Points. Or if you want to follow my personal page, contact me personally. Not that you're not going to get me personally if you reach out these other ways, but maybe you just want to know what I'm doing outside of the podcast, because I do other things that I don't post there. At Tyler the Lady. And if you would like to email me, well, golly, you sure as heck can. broadpointspodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget, you guys, like, rate, review, and subscribe to this here podcast. But last and not least, share this podcast. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. That is how we grow, ladybugs. That is how we gather. That is how we connect. And I'll put it here at the end. If you are still looking for a gift, maybe somebody didn't get you the gift you wanted. You put it down, you gave them my affiliate link, you said, these are the Chelsea boots that I wanted. Maybe they were sold out. The Chelsea boots I wanted are sold out right now. It's kind of a bummer. I hope they get back in stock soon. But, maybe you need a different pair. You can find Xero shoes. Buy Xero shoes from my affiliate link and you will simultaneously pay me. I have been seeing you guys purchase from it and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Your dollars, my dollars. We're just sharing here, you guys. Sharing is caring. Share the wealth. The link is xeroshoes.com/go/Tyler the Lady. Don't forget that go in there, you guys. xeroshoes.com/go/Tyler the Lady. I know, it slips in there. You just totally go where? Go to Tyler the Lady. And don't forget that Xero with an X because they're edgy. Now, one more time with that fundamental phrase for the week. Tie it up, put a bow on it. Here you go. To the new year. I can do anything I set my mind to.